The crop which we will be dealing today is about pearl millet. Now let's start with few introduction. Pearl millet, which is scientifically known as Pennisetum glaucum linus, is one of the most extensively cultivated cereals in the world. They are popularly known as bajra in India. It occupies sixth position after rice, wheat, maize, barley, and sorghum in terms of area planted to this crop. It is the principal cereal cultivated in drought-prone semi-arid regions of Africa and Indian subcontinent, mostly for food uses. It flourishes well even under adverse conditions of weather and is considered to be the most drought-tolerant crop among cereals and also in millets. It provides staple food for the poor in a short period in a relatively dry tracts. That is why it is considered to be a poor man's food. Pearl millet is considered to be originated in tropical Western Africa some 4,000 years ago, from where it spread to India and Southern Africa some 2,000 to 3,000 years ago. Out of 32 species described by Steph in the year 1934, only 2 are known outside Africa. Next, let's have a look about its geographic distribution. Pearl millet is grown mostly in tropical climates. It is widely grown in Africa as well as Asia. 60% of the world millet area is in Africa. Asian countries occupy 35% of the world millet area. The important pearl millet growing countries are India, China, Nigeria, Pakistan, Sudan, Egypt, Arabia, and Russia. In USA, Australia, Southern Africa, and South America, pearl millet is grown on limited scale as the forage crop. In India, it is grown almost in every state except in high rainfall areas like Assam, West Bengal, and Orissa. It is generally grown in areas of low rainfall and poor soils in the state of Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, and Haryana. Next, we will discuss about its classification. In the year 1934, Steph divided the genus Pennisetum into 5 sections. The first is Penicillaria, next is Gymnotria, third one is Pennisetum, next is Heterostechi, next is Brevivalvula. Now we will discuss about its climatic requirement. Pearl millet can grow in a wide range of ecological conditions and yield reasonably well even under unfavorable conditions of drought and high temperatures. It grows best at 30 to 34 degrees Celsius with about 600 to 800 mm of annual rainfall. But it can also be grown in areas which receive even less than 350 mm of seasonal rainfall. The rainfall at flowering time is harmful as it washes off the pollen and consequently there is a poor seed setting. Usually, it is grown in those areas where it is not possible to grow sorghum because of high temperature and low rainfall. Next we have is soil requirement. Pearl millet can be grown on a wide variety of soil, but being sensitive to waterlogging, it does best on fertile, well-drained loamy soils. It is sensitive to acidic soils. It can also be grown on a medium black soil, deep alluvial loam, and on sandy and gravelly soils of poor fertility with low organic matter content, but the yield is low. Next is about the popular varieties of pearl millet. Some well-known varieties are HHB 67 improved, GHB 538, HHB 117, HHB 146, GHB 558, RHB 121, HHB 94, ICMH 356, CZB 9802, JBV2, ICMV 221, RAS 171, ICTP 8203, etc. Some of the most important drought-tolerant hybrid include Nandi 35, Savuri PAC 903, PB 106, GHB 558, HHB 67, RHB 121, GHB 538, PB 180. And among open pollinated varieties, PPC 6, HC20, JBV2, ICTP 8203, ICMV 221, AIMP 92901, ICMB 221, ICTP 8203. Next, we will see about its lane preparation. Pearl millet requires a fine seed bed free from clods as the seeds are of very small size. A deep plowing followed by 2 to 3 harrowings is considered to be optimum. The lanes should be leveled after final plowing using levelers to ensure that rainwater does not stagnate. Moisture is a critical element in good seed bed preparation and is essential for the successful establishment of the crop. Next, we will see what are the different sowing methods. 3 systems of pearl millet sowing are followed. The first one is flat bed method. Next is ridge and furrow system. The last one is broad bed and furrow system. It is sown either by broadcasting or in rows behind the plow. Sowing with seed drill is the best method. It not only ensures fast germination but uniform plant population as well. Thinning should be done 3 to 4 weeks after sowing. Timely sowing of pearl millets may not be possible due to several unavoidable reasons. In such case, transplanting may be done. About 2 kg of seeds is sufficient for 1 hectare main field area. Healthy seedlings, which is about 15 to 20 days old, are uprooted and transplanted in the water-soaked fields. Next, let's have some idea about seed treatment. Soaking of seeds in 1% calcium chloride or in plain water for 6 hours before sowing results in increased yield under drought conditions. Seed treatment with Trichoderma hirgenium or Trichoderma viridi using 4 gram per kg, or with Therum 75% vegetable powder at 0.75 gram per kg of seed, or Captan 75% at the rate of 3 gram per kg of seed will help against soil-borne diseases. Next is treating the seeds with 3 packets each of azospirillum, that is 600 gram, and Phosphobacterium will enhance the availability of nitrogen and phosphorus. Next is seed treatment with metolazil at the rate of 6 gram per kg of seed controls downy mildew disease. Next we have is seed rate, spacing and sowing depth. 4 to 5 kg of seed is sufficient for 1 hectare of land. The optimum plant population for pearl millet can vary from 1,50,000 and 2,50,000 plants per hectare. And about the spacing, in case of ridge method, 45 cm by 12 to 15 cm, and in case of broad bed and furrow method, 60 cm by 10 cm should be maintained. And in case of transplanting, 50 cm by 10 cm should be maintained. Sowing depth should be about 2 to 3 cm. Now we will see about its optimum sowing time. As a kharif crop, optimum time of sowing is first fortnight of July. The rabi crop is sown between 25th September to 15 October. Now we will discuss about manures and fertilizer application. Application of 10 to 15 tons of compost or farmyard manure per hectare is sufficient for local varieties of pearl millet. But for high yielding or hybrid varieties, inorganic fertilizers are to be supplemented. General recommendation is 80 to 100, 40 to 60, 40 to 50 kg per hectare of NPK for irrigated conditions and 40, 25, 25 kg per hectare of NPK for rain-fed conditions. Half dose of nitrogen and full dose of phosphorus and potassium should be applied at the time of sowing. The remaining nitrogen is to be top dressed 3 to 4 weeks after sowing, coinciding with the availability of sufficient soil moisture. Next, we will see what cropping system can be followed in pearl millet. Some of the most important cropping systems practiced in India are given below. First is about the crop rotation. Pearl millet can also be grown in rotation with sorghum, groundnut, cotton, foxtail millet, chickpea, wheat, barley, finger millet, castor, and potato. And in case of intercropping, pearl millet can be intercropped successfully with crops like pigeon pea, groundnut, soybean, sunflower, and green gram. Mixed cropping of pearl millet with pigeon pea or cluster bean is the most common. Mixture with green gram, black gram, cowpea, sorghum, and other cereals, vegetables, etc. during rainy season are practiced under different situations. Next we have is about water management. Pearl millet is basically a rain-fed crop. However, if sufficient rain are not received, irrigation prior to sowing is recommended. Greatest water use occurs during the flowering and soft down stage. The visible signs for moisture requirement of the crop are drooping and withering of leaves in the morning and cracking of the soil surface of the field. Pearl millet does not tolerate waterlogging, so rainwater should not be allowed to stay in the field for more than a few hours. Next, we will see about weed management. The damage due to infestation of weed is severe during the first 3 to 5 weeks after sowing. Early planting of pearl millet avoids competition from the flush of weeds that comes up with continuous rain during the early monsoon period. Weed can be removed mechanically by hand or with implements such as wheel hoe, hand hoe, etc. But deep hoeing near the plants should be avoided so that their roots are not damaged. When the manual weeding becomes very difficult, pre-emergence application of atrazine, propazine, prometrine and semazine at the rate of 0.5 to 1 kg active ingredient per hectare are recommended. Application of metolachlor at the rate of 1 kg active ingredient per hectare has been found to control the weed effectively in pearl millet intercrop with pulses. Low rates of 2,4-D at 0.5 to 1 kg per hectare may be applied as post-emergence when the plants are about 10 to 30 cm tall. Next we have is insect management. A brief description of the major pests is as follows. First is termites. This can be managed by seed treatment with 2% methyl paration dust at the rate of 25 kg per hectare. Next is white graft. This can be managed by treatment of seeds with 10% folate, that is thimet granules, at the rate of 15 kg per hectare, or 3% carbofuran, that is furadon granules, at the rate of 30 kg per hectare. Next is soot fly. This can be managed by soil treatment with 10% folate, that is thimet granules, at the rate of 15 to 20 kg per hectare, or 3% carbofuran, that is furadon granules, at the rate of 25 to 30 kg per hectare. Next is about disease management. The first one is downy mildew. This is also known as green ear. This is considered to be the most destructive disease in pearl millet. Its causal organism is Sclerospora graminicola. Its cultural management strategy includes sanitation of the field, early sowing of the crop, transplanting of healthy seedlings, rogging of unwanted plants, and diversification of cultivars. Chemically, this can be managed by seed treatment with 2 grams of metolazil or with a mixture of 2 grams emission and 4 grams therum per kg of seed. Another management option includes spraying of metolazil 500 grams or Mancozeb 2 kg or Geram 1 kg or Genef 1 kg per hectare. Use of resistant cultivars like HHB67 Improve, RHB121, GHB558, Pusa 23. Next disease is ergot disease. Causal organism is Claviceps fujiformis. Its cultural management practices include deep plowing soon after harvest and separation of infected seeds. Chemically, this can be managed by treatment of seed with a mixture of 2 gram emission and 4 gram therum per kg of seed. This can also be managed by spraying with 1.5 kg per hectare at boot lip stage followed by 1 or 2 spray at 10 days intervals. Use of resistant cultivars like WC C75, ICTP 8203 and ICMB 155. And next disease is smut, whose causal organism is Mesoomyces penicillaria. And culturally, this can be managed by deep plowing soon after harvest. And chemical control strategy includes spraying with 1.5 kg Vitavix per hectare at boot lip stage followed by 1 or 2 sprays at 10 days interval. Chemical control measures are neither economical nor feasible at farmers' level. The major limitations to the chemical control of smut in pearl millet are low economic value of the crop and the scarcity of the resources available to the pearl millet growing farmers. Use of resistant cultivars like WC C75, ICTP 8203 and ICMB 155. Next is about the rust disease, whose causal organism is Vaccinia peniceti. Cultural management methods include good weed control practice help reduce rust. Chemically, this can be managed by dusting sulfur and similar inorganic chemicals applied frequently enough to control rust, but this may not be economical to the farmers growing pearl millet for grain. Use of resistant cultivar is the best option. Next is about harvesting. The best stage to harvest pearl millet is when the plant reaches physiological maturity. Physiological maturity can be determined by black, that is dark spot at the bottom of the grain in the hilar region. When the crop matures, the leaves turn yellowish and dries up. The grains are hard and firm. At moisture level higher than 25%, the seeds are too soft to withstand the threshing pressure. The usual practice of harvesting of pearl millet is cutting the earhead first and the stalk later. The stalk, that is straw, are cut after a week and allowed to dry and then stacked. Coming up next is about threshing. The harvested earheads are dried before threshing. The grain is separated from the earhead by using a mechanical thresher or by drawing a stone roller over the earhead or trampling with cattle. The separated grain is then cleaned by winnowing and then dried. Next is about the storage practices. Grain at or below 14% moisture is considered dry. For long-term storage, that is for more than 6 months, grain moisture content should be less than 12%. Next we have is about the yield potential of pearl millet. Pearl millet is usually grown with low or no external inputs. Hence, yields are generally very low, 300 to 800 kg per hectare grain yield. However, when cultivated as an irrigated crop with 60 to 80 kg per hectare applied nitrogen, pearl millet hybrid have produced 4,000 to 5,000 kg per hectare of grain yield during the summer season in some parts of India. Now, coming to the conclusion, pearl millet can grow in a wide range of ecological conditions on different soils and yield reasonably well even under unfavorable conditions of drought stress and high temperatures. Due to its highly adaptive nature combined with high yield potential, make pearl millet an important cereal crop that can effectively address the emerging challenges of global warming, water shortage, land degradation, and food-related health issues. With this coming to the end of this discussion, thank you.